Good evening. Welcome to Current Affairs. Today, once again, I would like to speak something regarding the judges of Supreme Court and High Court. As we know that under the Constitution of India, judges in the Supreme Court and High Court are appointed by the President. But over a period of time, starting from the year 1992 and 1993, so a new system called collegium system has been created. And that collegium system is nothing but group of judges of the Supreme Court headed by the CJI. And that particular group started giving advice to the government of India with respect to who should be appointed as the judges. This is happening for a quite long period of time in India. And of course, that is not just advice, rather that suggestion is considered to be binding in nature. So with respect to India, India is the only country where India is the only country in the world where the appointment of the judges is recommended by the judges. Ultimately, all of them are appointed by the President of India, but the recommendation is coming from the Supreme Court Collegium. That's the reason why government for a quite long period of time it was mulling on this particular issue, and finally they have decided to create a body called NJAC, National Judicial Appointments Commission. But Supreme Court took it seriously, and the Supreme Court has, but the Supreme Court has nullified that particular amendment. That is the reason why there is nothing like any National Judicial Appointments Commission now. And the Supreme Court wanted to continue its authority with respect to recommending the names of the judges to be appointed for both Supreme Court and also all the high courts in India. But the government wanted to have some say in this one. That is the reason why after NJAC, the so-called the constitutional amendment was nullified by the judiciary, government is going for some other plans to appointment of the judges of the Supreme Court with the consent, Supreme Court and High Court with the consent of the judiciary. So because of this reason, lots of stalemate is continuing, and in various high courts, the appointment of the judges has been stalled. And the Chief Justice of India, Justice Thakur, so he expressed his concern on this issue so many number of times. And if you don't appoint the judges in the High Court, what will happen? The pressure will increase. And ultimately, that may lead to the collapse of the judicial system in the country. So this is the concern that was expressed by none other than the Chief Justice of India. Look at just 2 days back, we have celebrated Independence Day. So on the Independence Day, the Prime Minister speaks from the ramparts of the Red Fort and he will address the nation. He spoke so many things during that time. But for the first time, the Chief Justice of India has commented on this, that judiciary was expecting from the Prime Minister on the eve of 15th August that he is going to say something about the appointment of the judges. But the Prime Minister did not say anything. So why this is important? Because none other than the Chief Justice of India spoke these words. That's the reason why it gathered lots of attention. But when it comes to the government made it very, very clear. There is nothing like any compulsion that you need to speak about this one. Rather, never in the history of India, with respect to the judiciary, no Prime Minister has spoken from that particular dais. And of course, the Supreme Court expects something, government wants something, and ultimately there is a necessity to have the coordination and understanding to get the things done between the judiciary and the government. But with respect to appointment of the judges, even today also, the stalemate is being continued. So this is the time that you need to resolve. The Constitution has separated the powers between the legislature, executive, and judiciary, so that no organ in the government is expected to be above the others. That's the reason why legislature, executive, and judiciary all are kept side by side, so that they will be working like checks and balances. So that is the reason why so many. All right, and kindly remember, I would like to suggest one thing with the respect, especially with respect to the UPSC examination, civil service examination. You must be very clear with respect to various conflicts between the judiciary and the so-called the executive. So, anyways, over a period of time, what I'll do is that now and then, not every day, now and then I'll take these disputed areas between um, judiciary and the government, and I'll be explaining you, with respect to that, and follow each and every class very, very carefully, because that is going to be very, very, very important for the examination point of view. So whatever happened now with respect to the constitutional amendment, creation of the NJAC, nullification of the NJAC. Now, whatever the stalemate that is going on with respect to the appointment of the judges of the High Court, everything is important for the examination point of view. And I want you to generate a clear-cut idea on this. You have to, especially for the people who are preparing for civil service examination, and those students who are writing for the this group 1 examination at the state level, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be very, very careful. You should be in a position to understand all these aspects. You will be in a position to understand these aspects only when your fundamentals are very, 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 very strong. That's the reason why my suggestion is that don't miss the class. So whenever any issue is there, right, if it is happening outside, I'll be right, so conveying the same to you, right? So this is how, so you'll be updating your knowledge. Am I clear? Next. So right, so this is about this. Next one, I would like to, of course I'm not going to show that on the screen, but I would like to just to say one thing. In the year 2013, okay, I'm just reading from this my notes. In the year 2013, the parliament has passed the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Protection, and Redressal Act. I repeat, I repeat, Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Protection, and Redressal Act of 2013. This act came into the picture during the time, and for the first time now, the government has decided to implement this. So the government has given clarification on this particular act, and it is ready to implement this. So that what will happen is that one of the important clause in this particular act is that if any woman employee is harassed sexually at the workplace, obviously it will be very difficult for that particular woman to attend the job from the next day onwards. So definitely it's a very, very painful thing. In fact, there will be lots of psychological effects on the concerned person. And this particular law makes it very, very clear that if anybody complains like this, that particular person, if that woman wants to go on leave for a period of 3 months, then the person may go. So there should be no objection from the management. So that what happened, at least the psychological pressure will not be there. Of course, the family will be there, friends will be there, you know, to give the support. That's a different thing. But the question is that why these things should happen? Where is the safety for women? Where is the safety for women? And that is the reason why. So these are the people, they should be punished very, 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 very stringently. Am I clear? So kindly remember this one. So this may be a possible question, right? So now I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, right, some important questions to you. Hopefully, you will answer them. Right? It happened in the very, very recent past. The first two questions are related to GST, Goods and Services Tax. So, right, so we are going for the constitutional amendment, right? And as all of you know, that it is a 122nd constitutional amendment. You know the whole story. Let me not repeat that. Clear? Now, so now during the time I told you already, this amendment bill, the GST 122nd amendment bill, once it is passed by the parliament, it should be passed by not less than half of the states, half of the state legislatures. And with respect to Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the process is over. So before it goes to the President of India, so that it has been sent to the various states. So that what will happen, the government will introduce the same in the concerned state legislature, and it should see that it will be passed. Clear? So that what will happen, once it is accepted by not less than half of the states, then it will go to the President of India. President of India will sign and it becomes an act. So once it becomes an act, the government will give a notification. The government will mention the same thing in the gazette, saying that from so and so date onwards, this particular act is going to be implemented. Clear? With respect to GST, I spoke so many things. Kindly recollect all the points. Now, so now the point is that once it is done in the parliament, it has been sent to the various state legislatures. Clear? And with respect to this, one possible question is, because GST is a very, very important one, it is present in various other developed countries already. So with respect to this one, there may be any possibility of a question apart from the number, apart from the 122nd. That question may be, they may ask you, it should be passed by the state legislatures. There may be a possibility, which is the first state, which is the first state in the country to pass GST constitutional amendment bill. Clear? Very, very important. And today, see here, today I'm talking about today. Yesterday, day before yesterday, previously, it was passed by some of the states in India. Today, it has been passed by Jharkhand Assembly. Jharkhand Assembly has passed it today. Right, meaning the process is going on, and there may be no compulsion that you should have the assembly session going on. If the assembly session is not there, no issues. They will call for special session of this assembly. There is nothing like any word special session in the so-called the constitution, but otherwise, depending on the situation, you may call for a special session to discuss only this and vote on this one. And today it happened in Jharkhand. But the question may be, which is the first stage to pass it? I'll show you the question. Just a moment, please. Yes. All right. You may please have a look at this. Which is the first state in India to ratify the GST Constitution Amendment Bill? Gujarat, Bihar, Arunachal Pradesh, or D, Assam? Hopefully, some of you may be, or most of you may be aware of this. And the answer is Assam. Right? Answer is Assam. And on that particular day, the Chief Minister of Assam, Mr. Sonowal, who belongs to BJP, so he expressed his happiness that he said one nice thing during that time. The day he said that Assam will be remembered in the history. Assam will be remembered in the history to be the first state to pass an important constitution amendment bill. Right? Of course, so he's taking that credit, and it's good. So, right, at least one state has to come forward, and later it has been passed by some other states like, Bihar and today Jharkhand. And the Finance Minister of India, Mr. Arun Jaitley, he's continuously reminding the chief ministers of various states to convene the special session of the assembly and pass this GST so that you will be helping the central government to pave the way for making this constitutional amendment bill as an act. Right? So very soon, GST is going to be a reality in India. Is that okay? See, now you must be getting a doubt here. You must be getting a doubt here when everything is known very, very clearly. Why the states are delaying? Some states are passing, some states are ratifying, but why some states are not talking anything about this? Clear. The reason may be this some political parties some governments that are present in the states may be different than that of the central governments. But the beautiful thing is that, in the parliament, almost all the political parties have come together. All the political parties have come together, except this AIADMK. Remaining all the political parties have come together. That is the reason why. So there is an expectation that almost all the states will be passing this, will be ratifying this. But this is because there is some time. There may be delay, and that is the reason why there is a little tension, little worry on the part of the finance minister, because he is closely monitoring the situation. Entire responsibility has been present on his shoulders. That's the reason why. So he is reminding various state chief ministers to pass it. Hopefully, it is going to be done very, very, very soon, and GST is going to become a reality. Right? And which is the first state? Assam. Right? Now, yesterday, even Bihar government also, they went for the special session, and Bihar chief minister, you must be knowing this gentleman, Nitish Kumar, right? And that is a non-BJP government that is present. Assam is a BJP government, that is the first state, and in Bihar, you must be knowing it is a non-BJP government, right? And yesterday, Bihar became the first non-BJP state that has ratified the GST. Question may be anything. Please kindly remember. Question may be on Assam. Question may be on Bihar. Am I clear? Now, even that also I would like to show it to you. Right. Which is the first state with the non-BJP government? Which is the first? Let me remove this word. This is repeated. Yeah. This is the first non-BJP government state in India to ratify the GST Constitution Amendment Bill. And obviously, what is the answer? Just now I told you. Clear? Right? And if you look at all these places, Telangana, Karnataka, Arunachal Pradesh, Bihar, and answer is Bihar. Kindly remember this for the purpose of examination. Okay? Right. So kindly remember these points, and let's hope that this GST is going to become a reality. Yes, it is going to become a reality. Otherwise, India is waiting for this for quite long period of time. Every year, uh, the finance ministers in the country, they were saying that from next year onwards, it is going to become a reality. But unfortunately, it did not become a reality all these years, right? So literally every year, in every budget, I was also hearing to the finance minister saying that, right? Finance minister saying that by next year it is going to become a reality. From next year, meaning next financial year, April 1st onwards, it is going to be implemented. Clear? And it never happened. And this time we are more positive that it is going to be a reality. Clear? So that's all for today. And thank you so much for being with me this evening. And I'll see you tomorrow with some more issues. Clear? And see here one thing, right? This actually, I was this supposed to talk something about Jallikattu also. So that is a traditional festival that happens in this Tamil Nadu state. Clear? Regarding that, I'll be speaking to you. This tomorrow. Clear? And then the case is there in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has deliberately stopped it. Clear, because of the certain reasons I'll tell you, and I'll be discussing that one tomorrow with you. Fine. So thank you so much for being with me, and I wish you all very very best. Take very good care of yourself. Good night.